hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto chapter 47, and today we are going to be talking about a potentially major bombshell that's being set up in the Boruto manga. And for the anime only fans, I'm telling you right now, you really need to be checking out the manga. I know reading manga over watching anime is a preference, but I'm telling you right now, you need to get on the manga because there's a lot of stuff shaping up in the manga right now. So if you're still here, I'm gonna assume you're okay with me talking about spoilers. So I'm just gonna come out and say it. You did not misread the thumbnail. You did not misread the title. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say I really very strongly believe we're gonna see something beyond Sage's 6 past power, and I'm talking a form that ascends beyond Sage's 6 past power, and we're seeing it with Isshiki Otsutsuki. The writing is literally on his cloak, and I just want to say off of that, I'm gonna say right now, all those theories I had about him being some type of a guardian or protector, something to do with the Otsutsuki clan, all of that's gonna tie into this right here. And when I say the writing is literally on his cloak, when I point out a few things, I think a lot of you guys are gonna start seeing things a little bit my way. This is not me trolling like I normally do with the Tenten stuff, where I say Sage of 12 past Tenten. That's not the case. This is a legitimate conversation. What makes me say this? Well, let's look at the guy's cloak, okay? So when you look at the magatamas that you see on Isshiki, okay? On Isshiki's back, you only see 7 if I'm not mistaken, but you see how he has that wish granting hammer that's on his back. But when you look on the side, when you look on the stuff he has going on the side for his cloak that's on his arm sleeves, you see the 8 magatamas. And the reason why that's so huge is, let's go back and let's look at what you got with the Ten Tails, okay? So when you got to the Ten Tails Jinchurikis and they had their cloaks that are going, you saw the 6 magatamas. If I'm not mistaken, when it comes to Hagoromo, we saw 6 with him. I don't think that this is just, oh, let's do something cool for design. However, I just want to bring your attention to something, okay? So the number 8 is something that stands out, especially when you look at the Buddha and how so much of Naruto lore, when it comes to the different characters and abilities and the backstories, how so much of that content was rooted in either Hindu mythology, Japanese mythology, or Buddhist mythology. So when you start looking at all those different things and you look at the number 8, we're about to dive deeper into how they've been building up towards this, because we've already got 7 paths, and I'll explain to you what the 8th path could be. I very sincerely believe that what you're seeing is that the 6 paths that you got in Naruto, with the Naraka path, the Deva path, the Ashura path, the Preta path, the human path, and the animal path finally. And now you have the 7th path when it comes to the outer path. I think that what you're gonna see is that the Otsutsuki clan, because they're the originator of Dojutsu, and because they're essentially the originators of chakra, are gonna be revealed to be the 8th path, or potentially you're gonna have the Otsutsuki king be the person who is the 8th path. I think that this is the case. I think that Isshiki has a Sage of 8 paths power. I think that that's going to be one of the bombshells that Amado is going to be dropping on us at some point, or Isshiki is going to reveal, because look at the emphasis they placed on the fact that Isshiki had 8 magatamas running down the back, and then he has the same symbol, the same hammer symbol on his back that he has on the center of his chest. And now he has the 8 Dharma wheel spokes that are inside of his eye. 8 just keeps popping up over and over and over. Let this sink in. For as powerful as he was against Naruto and Sasuke, the guy wasn't even flexing his real power. This dude washed these folks and left them out to dry like it wasn't nothing. And he's got a whole nother level of power. Naruto and Sasuke, as they ain't stopping this. They are not stopping this. I know people get really pissed off when you say, oh my god, they're nerfing Naruto. Naruto's not as strong as he was anymore. Naruto and Sasuke now are more powerful than they were in the war arc. Let that sink in. Naruto has both halves of the Kyuubi now. Naruto still has chakra from all 9 Biju. Sasuke has had 16 years to train his rinnegan. They still could not stop this dude. And now he's even more powerful than before. I don't care if Sasuke is able to use Angel's arrow by some miracle and can summon all the Biju together and they put all the chakra together and he uses Angel's arrow. That ain't stopping him. I don't care if Naruto goes into his avatar state and he uses his Rasen Shuriken and pumps Sage mode into it and Sage's 6 paths chakra into it and uses that Biju Dama Rasen Shuriken that he uses in that state. It ain't happening. It ain't stopping him. This dude is broken, which makes you wonder, are Naruto and Sasuke now going to have to train? Are they sincerely gonna have to train hardcore to come up with the power gap to stop this guy? This is setting the stage for the Jogan to be something absolutely broken. Good God, right now. Look at the Buddha stuff, because the Naruto franchise, a lot of the stuff that we've seen with all these different characters, there are some very strong Buddhism hints. Look at the Rinnegan. You have the 6 basic Rinnegan jutsu, then you have the 7th path. You have each of the 6 realms that you have with the whole thing with Buddhism, and then you have the 7th realm. Then when you get into the whole thing with the with the 8 spinning wheel that you have in Buddhism, it's the 8 Dharma wheel. When you look at that and you look at the 8 spokes of the wheel, it refers to the 8-fold path. That is not done by mistake. This is not a drill. This is not clickbait. That ain't none of this right now. Like, I'm getting so worked up on this because it's literally one of those times where I'm looking at it and I just got enlightened. I got enlightened because it always struck me in the back of my head. How in the hell was it that when Isshiki transformed, he was able to overcome Naruto and Sasuke so effortlessly? Like, his body was breaking down, but it was because Jigen couldn't bring out his full power. Theoretically, now that Isshiki has been reborn, he has his full power, or maybe closer to it, because Jigen was such an imperfect vessel. And when you start looking at some of the mythology where it talks about the protector of the 6 realms, now this is starting to potentially start to segue into this. Now, the only question I have is, if they do go this route, because the Rinnegan has access to 7 different paths. If that's the case, in this 8th path, I really feel like this is going to be something that is exclusive to the Otsutsuki clan. And if that's the route that they are going, if that's the route where this 8th path is directly connected to Otsutsuki, because the Otsutsuki are essentially the clan that birthed all the dojutsu, then that means that this is something that's going to leapfrog the Rinnegan. That's going to be interesting if that's the route that they take. If that 8 wheel that you see in Isshiki's eye is the final dojutsu, or if the Jogan is somehow connected to it. However, it would be irresponsible of me to not acknowledge this thing right here. When you got to Sage's 6 pass mode Naruto had, if I'm not mistaken, 7 or no, it would have been 9 Magatamas on Naruto's back, if I'm not mistaken. But when you look at some of the other variations that we had with Naruto, when he's in that mode, he's got the Magatamas. He's got 6 of them, kind of around the neck and everything. But one thing that I will say is that while that can be a wrench in it, I think the reoccurring theme that we've had over and over with the number 8 when it comes to this character of Isshiki, I don't think it's done by mistake. But let me know what you guys think about that. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.